This, my friends, is the BYD eMAX 7. It is the successor to the very successful E6 MPV model. And what is different about this is that A, it's a little bit more upmarket, and two, it comes in 6-seater and 7-seater configurations, compared to the E6 that used to be only a 5-seater. Now in this video, we're going to run through what the eMAX 7 is all about, and I'm going to be telling you about how it drives as well, and what makes it a rather practical choice too. So to start with, the BYD eMAX 7 is built around being a rather practical vehicle. I mean, when you look at the price point and we get straight into that, you've got it ranging from 26 lakhs to about 29 lakhs, which is straight up in Toyota Innova territory. So you can see that despite it being an EV and having more expensive components, BYD has played their cards really well to offer a 6/7-seater vehicle that is right in the same territory and gives a lot of people that choice, especially people who like the comfort of an Innova yet don't really venture on very long drives or have the occasional outside the city sort of travel. But coming down to the design, it is a combination of elegance and utility. So it has a very aerodynamic profile, and up front you've got that dragon face look that BYD goes for on all their vehicles. So it is quite stylish, it looks bold, and it has a very distinct look as compared to other MPVs out in the market. Of course, key highlights include the crystal diamond floating LED headlights, which obviously look very stunning, and I think that they do add a very nice persona to the vehicle. It rides on 17-inch alloy wheels, which is again something that is very neat for this class of vehicle, and the ratio of the tire size to the rest of the vehicle gives it a nice almost sporty touch over there. The rear again has that distinct BYD styling with that LED light strip, great lighting at the rear, and it's a clean, no-nonsense design. You get a shark fin antenna, you get roof rails, and the styling gives it that refined look that is great for a family vehicle, and yet also carries that premiumness with it. Now, I have mentioned that the BYD eMAX 7 is available both as a 6-seater and a 7-seater, and of course with this they've obviously adjusted the seating inside. Like if you had the E6, which was the predecessor to this, that was a 5-seater, and the rear bench was one of the highlights of that vehicle. And over here, BYD has again played with a clean, uncluttered look and done it up with a premium touch, which includes the brown two-tone interiors that give it a rather inviting ambience. So the materials used, there's no complaints on that front. I think the fit and finish, all the materials, they're nice to touch, look upmarket, look elegant, and yet there's that nice, clean look to the entire cabin. Up front, you've got great seats, very nice and comfortable. No complaints on the front seats over there. You've got power adjusting seats, you've got ventilation on them. So again, BYD has thought through a lot in terms of creature comforts as well. The second row, unfortunately, is a little cramped for tall passengers. So, while they have made it a 6/7-seater model, with the second row having moved up a bit as compared to its predecessor, it does take away a little bit of that legroom. And because you've got a high floor, you also lose out on a little bit of under-thigh support. Now, just remember that this is only for people who are like 5'11" and above. Anybody shorter than that is going to find it to be quite comfortable. In fact, the cushioning and the rest of the seat is actually very nice, but it's just that tall people will face that trouble. The third row is not the easiest to get into for tall people again. But once you are back there, you realize that the space over there is best for kids or for your pets. But with that, BYD has ensured that you do get a little teeny bit of boot space going along with it when you have the third row up. You fold that down, it folds flat, and you can get a ton of luggage into the back of the eMAX 7. So much so that you could go out on a nice weekend getaway with it, and you could carry everything that you could possibly think of in there. That's the amount of space that you get back there. Coming back to creature comforts, of course, one of the big highlights with the eMAX 7 is the 12.8-inch rotating infotainment display screen. So yeah, it can be seen in both horizontal and vertical displays. Simple touch of a button and it rotates. It's very cool. A little gimmicky, but I thought it was very cool and something that I think you can use to your usage, you know, especially when you're doing navigation. I think that that vertical view works better, at least for me. If you do have a point about the rotating screen, leave me a comment below. I'd like to hear what your verdict is about tech such as the rotating screen. But coming back to the eMAX 7, you do get Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. Again, you get a seamless experience for all passengers thanks to these. And there's a lot of USB charging ports on board. There's a wireless phone charger as well. So you do get enough in terms of creature comforts that make it quite the package. So there's really no complaints when it comes to all these features on board. You don't get a panoramic roof, but what you do get is a nice large glass roof. So I think that that's better because you can't stick your kids out of it, which is not only stupid to do, but it's also extremely dangerous to do. But here you can at least enjoy a nice panoramic sky roof without having to worry about opening it up and all the other stuff. So what do you get when it comes to the powertrain on board the BYD eMAX 7? Well, it's available in two trims. The lower trim is got a 55 kilowatt hour battery pack. It's got a range of 420 kilometers on a single charge, and it does 0 to 100 in about 10.1 seconds. Now what I'm driving here is the superior version, which has a 71.8 kilowatt hour battery pack and delivers about 200 PS of power, 310 Newton meters of torque, and it's got a range of 530 kilometers on a single charge, and it does 0 to 100 in 8.6 seconds. So it is quite a blast to drive. It feels great, and like all EVs, you get that power on demand. So I think that that's something very engaging and nice about it. It is a family vehicle. It is something that you would take an entire brood along in. So you're looking for something that's comfortable, really nice, has a nice ride quality on the road, and the eMAX 7 does live up to all of those as we're cruising along. Now the superior variant, obviously the top end version, is priced at about 29 lakhs. The premium variant gets the 55.4 kilowatt hour battery pack, and it has a range of 420 kilometers on a single charge. But talking about both of them, when you drive them in the city or take them out for a spin, in the city they're going to feel very similar. It is at higher cruising speeds or switching into power mode where you would actually experience the difference in terms of the drive feel. The superior variant can do 0 to 100 in 8.6 seconds, while the premium variant can do 0 to 100 in about 10.1 seconds. So that just gives you an understanding of what you get in terms of power. Again, being electric, that power is on demand. It's very peppy, it's very punchy. But being an MPV, I think that they've done a great job in terms of overall refinement. So it's not jerky at all. You know, it's actually very smooth and refined and does a brilliant job in that sense. Which makes me come to the topic of ride quality. Now, when you're looking at an MPV and you're looking at practicality, one is the space on board, two is the way it drives, and three is obviously the way it feels while on the move. So electric vehicles are generally quite heavy, and we've felt that with other vehicles where the suspension feels a little too rigid, or when you go over bumps, it sort of jolts you when you're on board. But with the BYD eMAX 7, I think they've done a fantastic job in the way that they've tuned the suspension and set it up to give you a very responsive feeling, yet ensure that none of the bumps sort of soak into the cabin. So it's actually a very smooth, plush ride, and that is something that actually stood out for me when I took it out on this drive. So it is really neat in that sense. And of course, adding to its dynamics is the fact, it's got that 2,800 wheelbase, which also adds to its overall stability and gives it that nice drive feel. Driving it is very easy. It is a big vehicle, but then you do get parking sensors and a very neat 360-degree camera on board. In fact, the resolution on that is actually quite outstanding. So that takes care of that. But speaking about parking sensors and the camera, we'll come to safety. So on the safety front, the BYD eMAX 7 is equipped with 6 airbags, ABS, EBD, EPF, and of course you also get ADAS. So these features as a combination, they do your work for your active and passive safety features and safety measures. And for them, I think safety is a very big priority, and the eMAX 7 definitely scores big points when it comes to safety. Speaking about battery safety, now this is something that BYD really likes to highlight because their Blade battery is a technological masterpiece in itself. So, you know, there's a nail test. So they actually put a nail on the BYD battery and they push down at a crazy amount of pressure. And where other batteries have actually exploded or resulted in a fire, the Blade battery can take the pressure of a nail being pushed down on it like that. Not only that, BYD drove a 40-ton truck over their battery and then stuck it back in a car, and there was actually no fault with the battery. Nothing actually happened. So you can see that they've done a brilliant job in terms of reducing the risk of thermal issues, as well as if you are to be in an unfortunate accident, the fact that the battery will not give way. So that is just you know, summing up everything that you get on the safety front. BYD has obviously targeted the eMAX 7 at the family, and especially large families. So I think in a lot of ways it does tick off a lot of the stuff that you would look for. So you know, taking into account the fact that you can get the whole family on board, it's brilliant to drive, it's very efficient, it's comfortable, it's got some top-notch features, it's built safe, and it's got a lot of safety features on board. There's actually really nothing quite like it out there in the EV space, especially when it comes to the EV MPV. And I think that will work in BYD's favor. Yes, the grouse on seating, especially in the second row, will stand for me as one of the negatives. But again, like I said, that is something that is for tall people only. And with that, we come to the end of our review of the BYD eMAX 7 MPV. Of course, it has a lot going for it. I think the pricing is also on point. And if there's something I've left out in the review, or you have a question about this product, please leave a comment below. It's my promise and the MOTORSCRIBES promise that we answer every comment that comes in on the channel, and you will hear back from us.